So my reading today took me to Matthew 20, and Matthew 20 starts out with this awesome story that is one of my favorite parables that Jesus does, and it's the parable of the landowner that goes out and hires different people, and he needs people to help him with a vineyard. So he goes out at 9 o'clock in the morning, and he brings in this whole bunch of people to work for him, and he says, "Look, I'll pay you a day's wage to come and work for me for a day." And they say, "Yeah, we need the job, so let's go." And they go and they start working in the vineyard. And then a couple hours later, he says, "You know what? I don't know that this job's going to get done, so I'm going to go back out and find some more people at like noon." And he goes out and he brings more people in and brings them in. And then he goes back out at 3 o'clock, brings in more people, and back out at like 5 o'clock at night and brings in more people. And he just has all these people at different times, and he just says, "You know what? Just work. I need to get this job done." And the job finally gets done, and the landowner says, "Thank you so much. Bring all the people that work for me, bring them before me so I can pay them." And they all line up and start paying him. And he starts with the people that came at 5 o'clock, and he pays them a full day's salary just for being there at 5 o'clock. And he hands them the money. And he goes to the people that were there at 3 o'clock and pays them the same amount, a full day's salary. And he goes to people that were there at noon and pays them a full day's salary. And then by this point, the people that are at 9 o'clock are kind of worried, because they're like, "You know what, we worked a lot more than the person that was there at 5, but, everybody else has been getting a full day's salary, so what's going to happen?" And the landowner gives them a full day's salary. The people at 9 o'clock are offended, really offended, because they worked all day long in the blazing hot sun, and they got the same amount of money as the people that only worked for a couple hours when they came in at 5. They had offense. The problem is that the offense wasn't placed correctly, because their lenses were that they were offended because they were being slighted by the landowner. But they weren't. The landowner gave them exactly what he promised them, a full day's salary. When he went to them in the beginning, he said, "I'll pay you a full day's salary." And they agreed to it. So the offense wasn't that they were being slighted. They actually weren't to be offended. The landowner was being generous, not offensive. He was being generous to all the other people that came in after him, who got a full day's salary even though they didn't work a full day. See, a lot of times our offense has to do with how we perceive things. This is something that is happening in our world rampantly right now, and actually we just heard a message from Robert Madu. So if somehow Robert Madu is watching this, thank you for your message at General Counsel. But we just heard a message from Robert Madu about being unoffendable. And the idea is basically that there's a difference between offense and being offended. Offense is going to happen. There's going to be offenses in your life. But being offended is your choice. You choose to be offended or not. And in this case, the people that worked for him at 9 o'clock in the morning chose to be offended at the landowner's generosity towards the other people that worked. See, we need to not choose to be offended. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, all the stuff to it, all down here underneath in the YouTube menu. Please let me know what you think. Comment, please. And then, like I said, share this with other people as well. Thanks a lot. Bye.